first show was at Douse Bar single release, and then the second time I saw them was at the Laura Street Festival in Brisbane. It was really cool.
The first time I heard the Jeans was I heard a part interview on Triple J in the late 90s, and my ears pricked up, and then never sort of heard much or even knew who they were until the early 2000s.
There's something about his music that's very instant, I think, in a lot of his songs. They're very endearing, you know, there's a sort of closeness.
I'll go on till the morning sun comes out to get me.
I started playing music, I guess, when I was around 15. My uncle gave me a guitar, acoustic guitar, and I bought a Bob Dylan songbook and a harmonica brace, and I just learnt how to play those songs, taught myself the chords, and just loved it, and just was compelled to do it all the time.
They're really good. They're a really well-oiled machine. You could tell they've been playing with each other for a long time, and they're really funny, joking with the crowd. And then they got to this song, The Morning Sun, and just towards the end of the song, Nolan takes an a cappella version of the chorus, and he holds this note, and there's this silence after it, and you had this pin drop intensity in the room, and everyone looked around at each other and started laughing because we were all kind of got caught off guard with this moment that we all kind of shared, and that's when I became a fan of the Jeans.
I'll go on till the morning sun comes out to get me.
So I first started playing with Nolan. He got an old guitar in about 1987. I think it was an Ibanez. And he started writing songs about then. And we formed a group in high school called the Ripped Jeans.
We were really serious about being original songwriters. When we started playing in Brisbane, there was original bands and cover bands. Cover bands made all the money at the gigs. Original bands were doing it for the love of it, and we fell into that category.
The first time I met Nolan and Morgan, the Jeans, it was in '97. I just finished up with another band, and I was looking to join a band, looking through drum media for ads, and there was their ad for a drummer, and I went, I was pretty impressed with their ad because they had a manager, and I went, oh, manager, they must be serious. These guys sound good.
As soon as I heard it, I felt like the songs were kind of like what I describe as they had personality. They were like formed people. You know, sometimes music's really flat and you can hear the formula, you can hear the musicianship or whatever, but these songs had life, like they existed before Nolan or something. You know that whole kind of cliche of artists can sort of grab a song from the ether and drag it down into reality. That's what it felt like listening to his music.
And I wish we were drinking some whiskey right now.
I don't know how he made his records in the past, but he hasn't really got a very technical brain for mixing. So he just wings it, and he just gets things and makes them sound how he wants them to in his head. But if you pull them apart, there's so many technical issues with how he mixes, but he somehow just pulls it off and makes this sort of magical mix out of pushing a mouse around.
I wish we were drinking some whiskey.
Yeah, I think it is really positive music. I think that's something I haven't mentioned. It's really positive. No matter, I don't know how you stir the lyric, you get into the storytelling. There's so many levels to music, aren't there? It's like there is storytelling, like really good lyrics and with the melody, and then the musicianship. But these things get entangled with your first experience of listening to it. Sometimes you don't often hear a lyric for a long time. But the overall feeling with that music is you feel relaxed listening to it, and it's very soothing. And that probably comes from, you know, the artists that produce it. There must be some kind of centered quality to their life.
I don't really have one particular favourite song or album, because the Gene stuff, you sort of put it on and it's just a mood when you're playing it. There's so many great songs that he's written that nobody's ever heard.
I'll go on till the morning sun comes out to get me. Hide in the dark in the corner in the park till the sun comes out to get me. I got 2 hands to hold you with, I wouldn't care if I had one. I'll go on till the morning sun comes out to get me.
What really captured me early on was Morgan's backing vocals and the harmonies. That's what made it for me. That's what captured me. I play them nearly every few days, and it's just that input that Morgan has. You know, great songwriting and arrangements by Nolan, and just beautifully accompanied by, you know, his big brother.
Just instantly started a following. It was just instant. For some reason, all the ingredients came together. We sort of had a sound that was captured Brisbane at that time. It was just such a fantastic scene because everyone you knew would go out and watch music, listen to music. And we ended up having a really good manager called Gavin Waller, who was fantastic.
There was 8 drummers before me. I was the 9th. Lucky number 9. And so it was good learning how to play less. I learned a lot about keeping it simple. Nolan's style of writing is very minimalist, chord changes. I think that gives you a bigger impact.
So we were really lucky to get to play with those bands like Midnight Oil, Crowded House, Hoodoo Gurus, Juliana Hatfield, The Cruel Sea, even bands like The Sharp. We learned a lot from all these sort of people. Archie Roach, fantastic songwriter. Yothu Yindi, we did a fantastic tour supporting them. So we were able to learn a lot, but we kind of always tackled it as we were trying to reach new fans and trying to reach their audience and have them hear our music. It was a great opportunity for us. But so many bands we played with that are not that well known, like a Brisbane band called The Velds, fantastic. No one's ever heard of them, but you know, they were awesome. A guy called John Malcolm, he's still around, playing great stuff.
Seen them in many venues over the years, supporting, you know, some major acts, and it doesn't matter whether they're on a big or little stage, it's just really appealing.
They've got this surf rock thing, but they're a little bit folky, they're a little bit bluesy, a little bit country, You can have a 2-minute love song 1 second, and then the next track is this 22-minute introspective odyssey of a track. There's a little bit of something for everyone in there, I think.
What you said, and time can never tell. I just want you there.
The songs that I often hear, I straight away hear them for the first time and I think, I've heard this before. I think he'll write songs like that you think you've heard before, but you haven't. It's just that it sounds like a classic song.
I mean, you know, I think it's a great insight having a band like the Genes who aren't world famous, but their music is world-class music.
It's that kind of music that it sounds like that music you've been listening to your whole life, like a classic song from Bob Dylan or Neil Young or something like that, but it's still very contemporary now, but it feels nice and familiar.
There is an album I've been listening to recently called Deep in the Heart of the Rat Race. And the last track on that album is called Deep in the Heart of Another Rat Race. And it's kind of like what I was talking about before about finding a song that has like a thumbprint. That's a good way of looking at it, I think. Like the song has life, an individual character. It's got this great, you know, the chorus rises up in intervals. The melody, it just feels really soothing and it's a really beautiful song. Nolan's voice sits in that category of the you know, the kind of Dylans or the Neil Youngs, the people that the voice is a landscape, is a place that you're allowed to go to experience emotion and insight rather than. You know, it's not like going to the Olympics, you're more like walking into an art gallery with a voice like that.
I think my favourite album is Deep in the Heart of the Rat Race. You can put that thing on and start to finish. It's a perfect album. There's no skipping, it just takes you away. You're in this different place. But I think my favourite song is Don't Let It Hurt off Dead Street Light. It's 2 minutes 20. It's this little ballad, this little 6/8 waltz about a heartache. It puts a lump in my throat every time, and I've never even had a breakup before. It's that good.
Look, my favourite songs are the older songs, but I still play their most recent stuff, but it's those initial songs about, you know, the surfing. And my favourite song would probably be I Always Loved You, Get Out of Your Tree, but also I like later stuff like The Ticket or Window Bird or even some of their experimental electronica sort of stuff like 2001. I really liked some of that.
Nolan's, his songwriting is, I regard it as one of the best in the world by a country mile. And yeah, he's a stunning songwriter. The harmonies are worked out quite intricately, almost classical in style of working them out. And they have to be really buried. Nolan, his vocals are there, my harmonies, if they come up to there, it's too much. They have to be there. But yeah.
It never gets boring. Every time you get together, it's like, oh yeah, it sort of clicks. I reckon it takes about 3 songs and then it sort of all sort of falls back together. And it's like, oh yeah, this is how it goes.
For one reason or another, we didn't crack popular success, you know, became #1 and all that stuff. Back in the early days, we wanted that. We wanted to be bigger than the Beatles. That was what we wanted to do. And when we recorded an album, we had this kind of belief in ourselves that you had to have to really record an album and to put it out there. You had to believe in yourselves. But we thought our albums were the greatest albums ever. And we kind of thought, this is going to be huge. And then we put it out and it'd do very little. So you put out a few albums like that, you kind of think, well, hang on a minute. Your idea of success changes. It becomes more about being happy with the songs you've written and being happy with the performance you give. And you probably get a bit bitter and jaded over the years, but really, ultimately, we're musicians and songwriters, and the greatest happiness we get from it is creating something and performing it. So as long as we're doing that, that to us is our version of success. And I look back and the musical landscape and industry has changed so dramatically. I'm just glad I'm still recording songs and writing them, because we can put them out to the whole world, put it on Spotify or YouTube or whatever, and potentially the whole world can see it, and that to me is fantastic.
Yeah, the fact that they haven't made it big, what does making it big mean? Anyone that I've introduced their music to, love them. I suppose when you look back, there's a lot of bands that haven't made it big, if you go delving there, but not a band that's been as prolific as them in the number of albums they've punched out. I'm not sure where they just missed the mark, but they didn't miss a mark with me.
I don't think the Genes have made it yet, because they've not really announced themselves to the world properly. If you try and search for even the Genes, Nolan and Angell, nothing comes up. How are people meant to find it? I mean, if you look on the YouTube channel, I think they've got 30 followers. So the word's not getting out there.
It has to come down to exposure. And I don't know if that's due to a lack of self-promotion or the management not doing their bit or record labels or whatever, but there really is something for everyone in the Genes, and I think it's just the fact that the music hasn't found the ears that appreciate them.
I went to see my father, but my father just wished I wasn't there. I went to see my friend said go get lost. Even my lover's gonna tell me not to bother, 'cause she just can't make the cost. It ain't worth it. She ain't worth it.
The big question is why didn't they ever make it? But I think at the same time, you look at them and two brothers spend so much time together still. They're still writing music, the music they want to write, and he loves doing it. Still surfing every other day, and he's got this great family, beautiful kids. It's about as mated as you can be, really.
The success of it was of touring, but the success of getting to the next level never really happened for us. There was a lot of things going on, like Nirvana came out, and that just sort of pushed us aside, because no one wanted to hear acoustic music, because we were all just acoustic based. Everyone wanted grunge, and sort of the gigs kind of started to dry up. and people just didn't want acoustic music. They were just all for, it was Pearl Jam, Silverchair as well, and they're great bands, but it kind of pushed us out of the scene.
Everyone has a different definition of success, and your definition of success changes. You know, from when we started, we wanted to be the world's biggest band, like every band does. But as time goes on, I've kind of come to realise that if I can go for a surf, come back, hang out with my kids, put them to sleep, and then come in here and write a song, work on some music, record, and do the odd gig here and there, that's pretty successful for me. You know, I'm still ambitious creatively. I keep always trying to write songs and thinking of ideas, working on the next album. And for me, the ultimate success is, for a musician or someone who writes or creates, is just to keep doing it. The only failure really is when you stop doing it or give up. So my main goal is to be, you know, that like those old composers who were writing songs on their deathbeds.
Oh, music in my life is a daily thing. Guitaring every day, bass guitar, electric guitar, absolutely love it, can't live without it. I just love music, and I don't care if I play to myself in the bedroom, I'm happy to do that. Financially, the Jeans is a dismal failure, but creatively, it's a stunning success. And that's all I could ask for in life.
I think the idea of making it is what our culture is built on. I think particularly the arts is the hardest industry of all, because there's no way you can enter an artistic discipline and just have a nice little vocation, like a job, you know, like you work in an office, you've got middle management or whatever, you've got a regular income, you've got this security. It doesn't work like that for a musician or an actor or a writer. You've got to make it. And there's so many factors that are in place to determine that. I mean, you know, I think it's a great insight having a band like the Jeans who aren't world famous, but their music is world-class music.
Hours walking and hours were spent. We both put our hands in the fresh wet cement. People will walk by and pay their respects to the girl by the side of the road.
And I think one of the huge factors is that this singular-minded, almost psychotic appetite for success. You know, with people like Nolan. Nolan's a mad surfer. He loves paddling out, and he finds this. And anyone who surfs knows, when you're in the ocean, when you get into the edge of the continent with this amazing thing, the ocean, it's a deeply spiritual thing. You become somehow connected. It's like an acid trip without the come down, you know. You just feel connected to the planet and this mysterious thing of being alive. Surfing is probably one of the reasons why he hasn't made it, because he's connected to his music, he's got something really beautiful to do as a spiritual practice, and he doesn't need to choke on his vomit.
From the love that is gone, fill up that hole with the light that once shone. From the girl by the side of the road, you got to tell me, you got to show me, there's nothing in this world that could make you so cold. Who's gonna love me like that now she's gone? The girl by the side of the road.
So I just want to say to all the artists that never make it, there's millions of us, we're part of a group. It doesn't matter if you don't make it in music. If you can just get up, play a song, enjoy it, it doesn't matter. That's all I got to say.